Welcome. It's time to call to order the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education regular monthly meeting, Monday, August 13, 2018. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Pennington. Bennett Johnson.
Here.
Salee.
Here.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Agenda item 6, comments to the board by citizens registered to speak.
We have none.
Item B, are there any board members with comments?
Other than me. This will be, September will be my last board meeting. I'll be resigning from the board September the 10th or 11th. I've got some severe medical issues that have came up. I can no longer sit here and take pain pills and sit here. So these are medical conditions I contracted in service, and I can't fight them much longer, so I'm going to have to take some other actions to deal with them. So this is not my last meeting. I'll try to be here for one more if I can make it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Terry. Agenda item 7, the superintendent's report.
We have a lot going on right now, and that's probably an understatement. I want to publicly thank Cody Thompson and the operations department for the work that is ongoing as we speak. This is obviously a very fluid situation that we've been working through this summer with not only the maintenance building side of things, but also transportation, and it remains fluid. And we are working to Cody's folks have been working on many different fronts to make sure that we do everything that we can to make the transition as smooth as possible. And so that kind of segues into a construction update. The board met in the retreat last week, and we heard from our architect and had planned on a tour of the building, but obviously the weather conditions would not allow it that day. And I went out there to personally verify it, and my boots carried enough mud home that it would have been difficult for us to walk through. Rain has not been, or the weather has not been on our side. Rain has been our enemy. And we are still moving forward. But when I hear people urge thanks for the rain, I kind of voice a little bit different opinion. In fact, I did that with our pastor today at lunch. And right now they have the gravel spread on the parking lots and awaiting conditions where they can finish pouring the sidewalks. They poured some of the sidewalks this morning and start the curbing. They had, I saw the most cars for workers out there between Cody's custodial crew that is already putting wax on the floors in the classrooms to the people that are continuing to lay tile in the other parts of the building. And in the gymnasium, the subfloor is complete. On the gym floor, they'll have to nail the maple next. So we are making progress, and but we knew it was going to be close. We didn't know it was going to be this close, and so Cody and I are monitoring it every day, including the weekends, and they were even hauling gravel on this weekend, even after the rain on Friday. So We're working toward making sure that we can open on September 4th. Now moving on to some other things. Centralized district-wide enrollment will be this Wednesday, 8 to 6, and Thursday from 8 to 7. And that'll be at the high school for all grades. One of the things I touched a little bit on transportation. I believe Cody mentioned this in the district board retreat last week. Parents will be notified of their bus assignment for their child after enrollment. The routes, there is no way to fully control for how we know the loads will be. And so they will, at enrollment, they will sign up for the transportation. They can also do that online. But the assignments will not be finalized until they will receive notification on August 23rd. And they will do that by either email or a call, I believe. A text, okay. And so we still are having to work out our loads with all of that, and there's no way to control for that until after enrollment. New teacher orientation is scheduled for August 24th at, I believe, 8:30 in the morning. Is that correct, Doug? 8 o'clock. Board members, you are all invited, as you always are, to that. We'll have a large crew in here and give them a welcome to Guthrie. That has been a time where we have gone to tour the school sites with the board. If you want to do that, we can. We just need to watch our numbers so that we don't have a quorum. And what I would say also, if you want, following tonight's meeting, if you want to have a discussion about how we could do that for Charter Oak, I'll be glad to facilitate that so that we can, so that you guys can look at that. And yeah, I know that. And that is the same day, the new teacher, is that new teacher orientation? Yeah, that is the first day of the OSSBA conference. My plan is to be here for that at the very start and then go to the conference, so we probably won't do a board tour that day. If we want to schedule it at a different time, I'll always do that. All school convocation set for Tuesday, August 28th, beginning at 8 o'clock a.m. in the junior high. We will have a speaker that is very popular education speaker, and we're looking forward to his message to our staff. We think it will be a very positive start to the school year. We've scheduled a special board meeting for Wednesday, August 29th. Last year, we met at 8 a.m. We can meet at 7:30 if that is more helpful for the folks that have to go to work. Right now, the agenda items on that will be obviously the ratification of the negotiated agreement, and then typically we have any additional personnel items that we need to clean up before we start the school year. Then elementary Meet the Teacher will be Thursday, August 30th from 3 until 7. Junior high open house is Thursday, August 30th from 4 until 7, and also on that day, high school freshman orientation is 6:30 until 8 p.m. So that's kind of a get to know everybody day. Again, the first day of school is Tuesday, September 4th. We talked about this briefly in the retreat, but we've received our initial allocation from the state. The teacher salary increase is there, so everybody rest easy and take a deep breath there. But I always issue the word of caution that the initial allocation, as I always say, is numbers on a page until you get your midterm allocation notice, when everybody figures out what their October 1st counts are. Just mentioned earlier, but I'll reiterate here, the OSSBA COSA Conference is August 24th through the 26th in Oklahoma City. We have 2 board members that are already registered, and if any of the other board members would like to attend, please see Jana. And I believe, did we do the board member balances? Okay. Board member training balances for continuing education is at your spot at the table, so you should, what we have for the record, please look that over. And the requirements, I'm sure you're very familiar with, because Jana does a great job of keeping you up to date. If that does not look accurate, please see Jana sometime after the meeting. But that is as we have it right now, and what is required, where you are versus what is required to retain your board seat. And that is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Simpson. Next up is agenda item 8, the consent agenda. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item B.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda minus item B.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Do we have a motion to approve agenda item 8B?
I make a motion that we approve consent agenda item 8B. Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Abstain.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 1 abstention.
Agenda item 9 is the beginning of the business agenda. Item A is recommendation, consideration, and action to calculate the 2018 to 2019 school year by instructional hours.
This is an item that we bring to the board every year so that we have the flexibility, if needed, to convert to hours and not be strictly on days. And obviously, with our calendar for this year, it is more than needed. And so recommend approval.
I make a motion, that we have an action to calculate the 2018-2019 school year by instructional hours.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9B, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, LLC, for 2018 to 2019.
The contract that went through the Finance Committee, we had a couple of, we had several instances where it addressed some things incorrectly. And so we have made the modifications to that contract, and it is in front of you. Michelle, would you explain to the board what was missed originally?
Absolutely. I have redlined for you on the contract all items that address child nutrition, the cafeteria, the serving line, or dining facilities. The original bid did not include volume based on child nutrition, and so the contract will be revised and sent back to us.
So we're asking you to approve the contract as we have modified it. And then it will, once it's approved by the board, it will be forwarded to Coca-Cola for their approval. And if they make any other modifications, naturally, we will bring that back to the board.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal agreement with Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, LLC for 2018-2019 with the modifications so noted.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9C is a recommendation, consideration, and action upon authorizing Ms. Jana Wanzer as authorized representative for the Child Nutrition Program.
It's an annual item that we bring, and probably should have brought this in June when we brought all the others, but wanted to make sure and clean this up before we get started on the school year.
I make a motion that we approve the authorization of Ms. Jana Wanzer as authorized representative for the Child Nutrition Program.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9D, agreement with Today Therapy Solutions to provide occupational therapy for Guthrie Public Schools during the 2018 to 2019 school year.
This is an annual item that we bring to the board, and we shop this around. Page 70 of your packet shows the quotes that we received to perform these services for our students. Recommend approval.
I make a motion, we approve the agreement with Today's Therapy Solutions to provide occupational therapy for Guthrie Public Schools during the 2018-2019 school year.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9E, recommendation, consideration, and action to suspend for 1 year board policy F48, foreign exchange students.
We have a policy that is on the books that limits the number of foreign exchange students that we can have at the high school to 2. We had already committed to 3 students for the 18-19 school year. I was unfamiliar with the policy, and as was Mr. LeGrand, and it's not unheard of, but it's not commonplace to have such a policy. I talked with Ms. Pearson about the institutional history of why we have the policy. We don't feel like the reason that the policy was put in place in 2007 is present today, and talking with our attorney, he recommended a 1-year suspension of the policy and then suggested that we revisit it after a year. And so that's the recommendation I bring to you tonight.
I move that we suspend for 1 year the board policy F48, foreign exchange students.
Second.
Any other discussion?
So we'll have 3 students this year, even though the board policy says we're only going to have 2.
That's why we're suspending.
Yeah, that's why we're
suspending it.
taking this action,
Okay,
so that we're not. in
but we've already
violation.
accepted them, so, okay,
Well, we haven't started school.
okay. All right, gotcha. All right. I gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Okay, roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9F, recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision to district policy F6, which is district wellness policy.
The changes that you have on page 77 through 83 are, most of these are already in practice and are mandated in order for us to be in compliance to compete for some grants. And I don't know, Michelle, you want to fill in the blanks on that?
That's basically it. We're applying for some of the TSET grants, and after meeting with the department, the health department, this is their recommendation that we include revisions that are USDA compliant to apply for the grants.
There's nothing in these changes that we're not already doing in practice. We're just codifying it with the policy so that it can be on paper and they can see as they evaluate our eligibility for the grants that we have in the policy.
I make a motion that we approve the revision to district policy F6, district wellness policy.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9G, recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision to district policy D45, felony record search.
This is part of the suite of policies that are recommended by our attorney for review each year, and this is the recommendation that they have for changes that we make to the policy. This one and the next agenda item are the ones, that's just how far I've gotten on it. It's pretty tedious work. A lot of times, Mr. Moyer and I are on the phone having discussions and clarifications about the policies before I recommend them to you. There will be more to follow, but this one and the next agenda item are the two that we have identified. And on D45, all of the changes noted in that policy, we were already doing in practice anyway, and most of that was put forth by state law in the last couple of years. And so we're, again, just putting in policy what our practice already is. So recommend approval of item G.
I make a motion, we approve the revision to District Policy D45, felony record search.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9H, recommendation, consideration, action upon revision to District Policy D15, military leave.
This was another of the policies that was up for review, and not sure why we had a paragraph in there that had made a differentiation between certified and support staff members on the amount of leave they can be paid for if they are called, if they participate in the reserves and are called up. The change that we have in red puts us in compliance with federal law, and we did not have anyone that this affected last year anyway, or we would have done it appropriate manner. Recommend approval.
I make a motion that we approve the revision to District Policy D15, military leave.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10 is the proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation and separation from employment, and transfer of position request, all as set out on the personnel reports, discussing teacher negotiations for 2018 to 2019, and discussing and assessing the vulnerability of GPS facilities to acts of terrorism, and discussing plans for deterrence or prevention of or protection from an act of terrorism, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma Statute, Section 307B, 1, 2, 7, and 9.
I make a motion we go into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Pennington.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, it's time to acknowledge the board's return to open session. Only items in Agenda 10 were discussed in executive session, and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. Next is Agenda Item 11, vote on action as set out on the personnel reports.
I make a motion, we approve the personnel reports.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda Item 12, recommendation, consideration, action for statutory waiver deregulation which allows Ms. Shanna Fields to be employed as library media specialist at Guthrie Upper Elementary School. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the action for statutory waiver deregulation, which allows Ms. Shanna Fields to be employed as library media specialist at Guthrie Upper Elementary School.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda Item 13, recommendation, consideration, and action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of this agenda.
We have one resignation present for acceptance. Christine Hayes. She was supposed to be a speech pathologist for us, and she is asking to accept her resignation.
I move we approve the resignation of Christine Hayes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 14, discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none?
We have a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I move we adjourn.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Watts.
Yes?
Medley.
Yes.
Pearson. Yes. Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.